The Western Book of the Dead. I'm the Christian whistleblower, Jeffrey Daugherty, and this is the gospel truth about the Western Book of the Dead. It's actually called the American Book of the Dead, but we are broadening that definition because it really should be, in my view, and in the view of many others, called the Western Book of the Dead. So that's what we're calling this series, the Western Book of the Dead. And the idea here is for you to understand, before you get there, how to navigate the after-death realm, to know how to navigate the after-death labyrinth. And do you think that might be a useful skill for you to be able to employ? Because pretty much, folks, if you have to figure it out when you get there, you're probably not going to figure it out. And you'll probably be coming back again. So this is to help you understand what to do, how to do, and where to do. Once you leave this meat suit, once you leave this stage of the labyrinth and go to the next stage. So what we're here to do is to help you understand how to navigate the after-death life. And that's very, very important because that's what we're all aiming for. And I'm glad that Nappy Yogi is so excited right now. And we're here to go through this with you. And I'll be offering this on a personal services basis. And I do offer personal services. Just had a great one today. And encourage you, if you'd like to contact me, avail yourself of the box below. We also have some great books and other things that are there to help you make the change that you want to see. Like, share, subscribe. Warrior Princess, hello there. Like, share, subscribe. And if you're a regular, meditatively consider whether you should financially support this work. All right, so here we go. With the American Book of the Dead, aka the Western Book of the Dead. And we're off and running. First of all, it's absolutely necessary to rid yourself of the pride peculiar to humans, that conviction that we need none of this stuff because we're already there. This is just the sort of arrogant nonsense that's going to guarantee that you get knocked off in the first stages of the between lives section of the labyrinth. Imagine someone saying to the clear light, well, as it happens, I was just a Sufi before I woke up dead. That puts a nice, neat barrier between you and a gentle blending with the absolute, doesn't it? So the thing that we have to realize is that we don't really know as much as we think we know. And we don't really know anything when it comes to navigating the after-death life, because that's something that's not talked about to us. In fact, it's something that we're taught against. Christianity wants to tell you that, what does it say? It's appointed a man once to die, after that the judgment. That's all about fear. And that's not even close to true. Sometimes you almost wish it were. But we will go round and round until we stop going round and round. And the idea is to be able to navigate this after-death life labyrinth and put ourselves in position to be able to make decisions on where we want to go and what we want to do. And that's what I'm showing you how to do here. The prime aim when confronted with the absolute, and that's capital A, so I think he's talking about deity, divinity. The prime aim when confronted with the absolute is to realize that you are the shining void without losing yourself. So you have to realize that you are divinity, but you can't lose that part of divinity that you are. It almost sounds contradictory. You've got to realize that when you see the absolute, you're confronted with the absolute, that you are the absolute, but not so self-identify with the absolute that you lose the individual nature of the part of the absolute that you are. Does that make any sense? You don't sleep till judgment, I'm sorry to say. So when confronted with the absolute, you have to realize you're part of the absolute, But you have to maintain focus on that part that you are. How about that? You may lose or consider lost many things during that merging process, but never the essential self. So you're going to give up a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff's going to fall off. A lot of stuff's going to fall by the wayside. But you still got to maintain your essential self. And perhaps that's why Roman Christianity, and by that I mean Roman Catholicism and Roman Protestantism, works so hard to tell you to deny the self, forget the self, sacrifice the self, nail the self to the cross. Self, self, self is bad, bad, bad. Because they want you to lose your sense of self so you'll get automatically recycled and come back again so they can deal with you and live off you some more. And if you do happen to stay, then you can go into a soul farm. Thank you, Warrior Princess. The essential self may have been hidden under a tremendous load of human conditioning, but when the biological self has been stripped off, you will see what's real about you was never lost. Wow. So even though we spend all these years stuck in this meat suit, even though we spend all of this time stuck in this part of the labyrinth, and we have all of this conditioning designed specifically to make us forget ourselves, when we get out of this body, we will lose and consider lost many things, but never the essential self. Christianity, Abrahamic religion, is all about destroying the self. And isn't it interesting that that is the very thing you need to keep yourself in a position to be sovereign, to be divine, and to be free on this side of death and on the other side of death. Very powerful stuff. Where else are you going to hear this? Oh, yeah, nowhere. Hidden under a mound of insufferable egocentricity, but never actually lost. If lost, yes, maybe all trace of the deep self was absent every minute of your life on earth. But now, finally, you can be you, such as it may be. So many of you have a hard time being yourself here on earth. I don't know why. Yes, I do know why, because I did it myself for many, many years. But you've got to get to the place where you can be yourself and practice yourself. Practice being yourself right here. Live in your full selfness right here, because it's essential for you to be able to have any divinity and sovereignty in the after-death life to maintain that sense of self. The clear light and the essential self the essential self and the clear light are one and the same. So there really isn't any merging action you can take, since there's nothing with which to merge, but you might continue to identify with the human self and feel alienated from the absolute. So it gets difficult. You have to maintain affinity with yourself, your true nature, but you have to de-identify with this meat suit. And again, that's why Christianity is what it is, because they want to keep you from doing what you need to do. And that's why I am so harping on you about learning to be 3 feet behind the back of your head. I'm so harping on you about knowing that this is just a meat suit. I'm so harping on you to realize that this is not who you are, because you've got to realize who you are, and you've got to realize that this is not who you are. And it has to be more than an intellectual exercise. It has to be something that you get, or you're going to get got. And you're going to be out of options, and you're going to be doing what you're told again. The essential self has no qualities. That's how you recognize it. Ah, grasshopper. The essential self has no qualities. That's how you recognize it. One quality of the void is that it lacks any center of gravity or centrality. It isn't everywhere, and it isn't anywhere, but it is where it is. Wow. It isn't anywhere. It isn't everywhere, but it is where it is. You just got to know what you know, and your knower. And your knower goes with you. Wow. Your knower goes with you. And you know that you're right because you just know. And you got to practice this knowingness. Because unless you know yourself, you can't save yourself. Unless you know yourself, you can't lead yourself. Unless you know yourself, you can't direct yourself. Now, how can anyone possibly merge with an object out of anger? How can anyone possibly merge with an object of anger, fear, or jealousy? And what if the absolute takes the form, a form you impose upon it, and your never-ending struggle against the unfamiliar of someone or something you don't happen to like, or are fighting, or is threatening to you, or that you hate, or that confuses you? In other words, you'd better consider and conquer those tendencies before you attempt to merge, right? This is talking about people's perception of the divine. And that's another reason why Christianity is trying to present you with a God that you will fear, a God that you may even hate because of the things that he does. And this is why Yaldabaoth, Yahweh, the Lord, Jehovah, Marduk, rat bastard. I call him rat bastard because he was created without a father, and he's been a bastard from the beginning. That's why he goes out of his way to be so scary. He wants you to be afraid of him. Because if you go into the afterlife thinking that God is scary, thinking that the divine is scary, you can't merge with something that's scary because you won't allow yourself to do so. Dude, where's my car? What causes all these reactions? The real world, which has become separated from the essential self by unconsciousness and considerations of differentiation. Let's look at them one at a time. Although we could lump them all together and say that these are just symptoms of your own conspiracy against yourself and that endless cosmic game called Let's Keep It Going. These are all just symptoms of your own conspiracy against yourself and the endless cosmic game called Let's Keep It Going. I ask you, where did you learn this game, Let's Keep It Going? Who taught you about this game, Let's Keep It Going? Who instructed you in the play of this game, Let's Keep It Going? You have been taught, bred, and instructed for the last 2,000 years at least in this game of Let's Keep It Going. And you don't even know you're playing it. But everything that they teach you is designed to keep you on the hamster wheel. The hamster wheel is not just in this life. The hamster wheel is throughout the entire labyrinth. Wow, wow, wow. The living, walking dead are everywhere. Ain't that the truth? And Rocky Stucci says, I fear the living more than I do the dead. You just said a mouthful there, Rocky Stucci. You just said a mouthful there. We're going to have to get at one more item before we can discuss this situation because we may not be talking the same language. In the text, we talk about demonic apparitions and so forth. We'd better begin by defining the macro-dimensional domains of the labyrinth as they're experienced between lives. It's easier without a body to see the unwinding or the running down of the consciousness accumulated in our most recent contact with the organic world and to observe its breaking apart into the primary components of life, the universe, and everything. So once we get out of this meat suit, it's easier to see the actual reality of the spiritual world. And if the voyage happens according to form, and why wouldn't it, then you'll have a very familiar and eternally recurring experience. Everything will look just the same as it's always been looking. Think about that. Jeff, how can you say that sometimes people don't know they're dead? Because sometimes they don't know they're dead. Rocky Stucci will tell you. Sometimes beings don't know they're dead. Rocky, am I telling the truth or not? Sometimes they don't know they're dead. But you're like, how could they not? How could they possibly not know they're dead? Because if you don't know, if you haven't learned, if you haven't been told, the after-death life looks a lot like the before-death life. It looks a lot. Rocky Stucci says, yes, sir. It looks a lot alike. You know, these movies you see, like the I See Dead People one, Sixth Sense, Ghost. There's been other ones, even to an extent, What Dreams May Come. People don't always know they're dead, folks. And part of knowing, part of conquering the after death life is knowing that you're dead. It's Lennon says it's just like people don't know they're stupid. Oh yeah, that's a good one. So you got to know, wait a minute, I know this looks the same, but it's not the same. That's why I'm working so hard to get you to have your analytical mind tuned up so you'll know, so your blink will know. And sometimes that's all you got is your blink. So you got to know. That's why you should all be doing some personal work with me to get your analytical mind dialed up. And let me give you some help here as well. So I lost my track. Where was I? Did I just lose my page? Doggone it. Okay, here we go. Everything looks just the same as it's been looking, but it'll be a tiny bit more plastic and a tiny bit more prototypey, very real and very ancient and very fresh, as if it was just made with an air of unchanging oldness. But if you're not paying very close attention, everything seems the same. Reminds me of the movie, the one where they were building the future and Leonardo DiCaprio saw behind it or whatever. I can't remember what that was called, but you just got to know. It's subtly different. It's plasticky. It's almost too good. It's too new. It's too fresh. You just know. Your analytical mind says, hey, listen, something is different. And you've got to be able to tune into that if you're going to navigate the labyrinth successfully. But if you're not paying close attention, and unfortunately, not many of you do, and the world is designed to keep you from paying attention. Church is designed to keep you from paying attention. TV is designed to keep you from paying attention. Life is designed to keep you from paying attention. Why? Because they want to keep using you. Of course, you're not experiencing anything different than you were during the lifetime, but you're experiencing it in a different way because you're in a different level. You're experiencing the same matrix, but just a different part of the matrix, or the labyrinth, as we're calling it. That's the main difference between life and death. One of the main problems of voyaging in the macro dimensions of the labyrinth in between lives is that it's so familiar and so apparently ordinary that it becomes hard to decipher and hard to differentiate. Yes, you can bring a GPS. It's called your blink, but you can't do it unless you get your GPS dialed up. Unless you remove the gaps, unless you get the reactive mind to stay down, unless you get the fight or flight mind to stay down. That's the only way. That's why I'm so harping about these life track sessions. You look straight at the old man and mom and talk with them about the usual things. The old man and mom are going to be doing some peculiar things if you projected familiar folks onto cosmic folks, which incidentally is the basic of organic planetary existence. Since you are the essential self, it's assumed by the guides that anything you're allowing yourself to experience, however discomforting and even excruciating, is all right, because they know very well that you, the essential self, are absolutely indestructible. As a Voyager who's senior to any experience of reality, they conclude that you have all the time there is to work out any little discomfort you might be currently freaking out about. They think you know what you're doing. Everybody else out there thinks you know what you're doing. And they treat you like you know what you're doing, because you know what? They treat you like an adult. There's nobody to handhold you in the after-death life. There's nobody to pat you on your little head. There's nobody to pat you on your little butt. There's nobody to wipe your little nose. There's nobody to clean the crumbs off your chin. There's nobody there to help you, because nobody gives a damn about you. They're all trying to do their own do. And the only people that care about you are trying to keep you deceived because they want to keep feeding off you. Do you realize what I'm saying to you? Nobody cares about you. That's why you have to be able to take care of your damn self, or you're coming back around again, cousin. You're coming back around again, cousin. And if you don't want to come back around again, you better damn well learn here and now how to take care of yourself, because there ain't no mama, daddy, grandmama, pastor, rabbi, priest over there. And the ones that are there to make sure you don't get out. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. Relax, said the night man. In this labyrinth, they are programmed to receive. Wow. Now we can dwell a bit more on some reactions you might have towards your cosmic family in the labyrinth. Your brother can't seem to understand what's wrong with you. Your mother doesn't relate at all to your problems. They both trust in your eventual release from what's bothering you, but you're seeing eternity and you don't think it will ever work out. You feel betrayed. And you were just getting used to having a biological machine and being surrounded by all that nice, warm planetary atmosphere. Now, here you are, stripped bare, exposed. Not just your biological machine, but everything you are or ever were is exposed. They know about you, everything about you, because there isn't anything that isn't you. You spend all of your time on this planet trying to hide who you really are. You spend all of your time on this planet trying to hide who you really are. Refusing to deal with who you really are. Pretending you're not who you really are. Afraid of who you really are. Refusing to look at who you really are. It's not until people, and I think of Rocky Stucci, who's been to that agony of the soul through life choices and decisions. I've been there. Until you've been curled up in the fetal position on the floor somewhere and taken a good look at who you are, until you've looked in the abyss and the abyss has looked into you, until you get honest with yourself. Until you get honest with yourself, you're never going to be able to get out of this labyrinth, and you don't deserve to. If you don't have the guts to look at yourself, then you're not ready to move on, and you'd be wasting everybody's time and energy. I'm telling you, you need to get your analytical mind dialed up. You need these live track reviews. And that's probably not the last time I'm going to say it. I was going to say that's the last time I'm going to say it, but we both know that's not true. Everything's clear. You're lying, you're cheating, you're betrayals. You can't maintain your lies in the face of this awful nakedness. You're cold, confused, and alone. And nobody gives a damn. And guess what? Nobody much gives a damn here either. You're trying to hide all of your stuff from all of us, and we don't really care about your stuff. If we heard about it, we might laugh for a few minutes, but that would be it. Nobody cares as much about you as you think they do. You're not that big a news, cousin. We might laugh, we might get a chuckle, we might get a joke. Get over yourself. Get to know yourself. Deal with yourself. That, everybody wants to yell at Crowley. Oh, to thy this is the whole of the law. Do what thou wilt is the whole of the law. This is what he's talking about. Do what thou wilt. Get in and check yourself out, cousin. It's not do whatever you want to do. It's start doing your do on the inside. It's like the Christ said, look, you got the spark of divinity within. I've given you the ways. I've given you the truths that lead to life and life more abundant, but you got to do it your damn self. Forget your girlfriend, your wife, your husband. Forget your pastor, your priest, your rabbi, your imam. Forget all that, because they ain't going to be there when you breathed your last breath and soiled your pants. It's just you, cousin. And nobody else up there cares, because they're all busy doing their own thing. And they think you know what you're doing. How scary is that? So if you don't, you coming around one more time. All right, I'm going to bring this to an end here. No matter what you do, where you go, you keep coming back to the same eternal space, because this space isn't where you are, it's who you are. Oh, sooner or later, you're going to have to face who you are. Sooner or later, you're going to have to face who you are. You're going to keep coming back until you face who you are, or until who you are dissipates completely, because that will happen. I don't know when, but it will happen. Wow. Let me read that one more time. You keep coming back to this same eternal space because this space isn't where you are. It's who you are. No matter where you go, cousin, there you are. You better get into the self-knowing business, and it better get booming. Oh, you're coming around one more time. And how many more times can you come around before you just dissipate into nothingness? I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. There doesn't seem to be any escape, and there won't be any escape from yourself. There's no escape in this. You've got to do your own do. Nobody's going to do for you, and you'll keep doing until you do or don't, and you're gone. There's only so much the Christian whistleblower can do for you. There's only so much the gospel truth can do for you. That's why I'm trying to teach you to guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, be your own guru. Oh, those are just little sayings. No, they're not. And if I have to tell you that, then maybe you're in the wrong place. No matter where you go, there you are. Ha! He said it. You're shivering, you're shaking, but do you know what's going on? And do you know what's going to happen? Or are you afraid? Don't expect to be able to merge with something you're afraid of. Don't be able to expect to be able to merge when you are afraid. Wow. No matter where you go, there you are. And you're going to keep coming back to this place until you know thyself, until you do what thou wilt, which is the whole of the law. And the reason it's the whole of the law is because if you're doing what thou wilt, if you're doing your stuff and worrying about your business and building the spark of divinity and learning who you are and doing the life track work and doing the after death work and learning, you ain't got no time. Jeff Dart ain't got no time to worry about Rocky Stucci. Jeff Dart ain't got no time to worry about Lennon Stokowski. Got no time to worry about that. I'm too busy doing what I wilt. I'm too busy taking care of my own junk to worry about anybody else's junk. And that's what it's all about. That's what Crowley was talking about. Yeah, he was a chucklehead in a lot of ways. And yeah, he did a lot of weird stuff, but he also dropped some heavy revies on us. Wow. 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 All I can say is wow. Let me check out the chat room a little bit. We're going to bring this thing to a close. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Can we still care about others? You shouldn't be concerned about others, except in a general way. I mean, you care about people. You don't do anything wrong to them, but you really need to be focused on your damn self. Lee Veltman says fear isn't a bad thing. I don't know if I agree with that or not. I'm not sure where he's coming from on that. It's not all peaches and cream. Fear not, said the Christ repeatedly. That's where I come from. For every 100 men that strike at the branches of evil, only one strikes at the root. Deep. This is the real message of the Christ, yeah? Pull up them britches and be big boys and big girls. Be your own guru. Yep. I gave a damn once then. I learned it's not worth it. Yeah. Wow. Interesting stuff. Guardian angel, spirit guide. I don't trust them. I'm going to do it my damn self because I don't trust where they're going to take me. They don't really care about me. They're in it for themselves. I'm going to do it myself. That's why I'm going to make it. I don't think I'm describing the Mandela effect. All righty. I think that's enough to chew on today. In the end, everyone dies alone. Absolutely, Ashley. In the end, everyone dies alone. It's up to you. And it's not sad. Somebody said it's sad. I know what you're saying, Nappy, but it's not sad. It's the way it is. You die alone. It's like Captain Kirk said, I've always known I'll die alone. See, they bring stuff in these movies and they throw it out there and people don't get it. But man, I've always known I'll die alone. We'll all die alone. We'll all die alone. And we've got to know how to deal with death, as Cuban Pixie says, with me, myself, and I. There are no spiritual grandchildren. It's all about you. Selfishness without greed. Very well put, Lee Veltman. Is this why babies cry because they're back again? It might be. I think there's a physiological reason why they cry. I think they cry to clear their lungs. But at any rate, death is just a new start. Yeah, death is just a transition between dimensions. Maybe that's why maybe that's why we're so afraid of death, because we know we're not ready to get over it. We're going to come back. Wow. I would recommend you do not join any collectives after your last breath, because those are called soul farms. And cousin, that ain't someplace you want to be. Wow. Wow. Bam. All righty then. There we go. There we go. I've been turned on to something I want to share with you. Where'd they go? I've been turned on to the cosmic deck of initiation. I'm telling you, this is some powerful stuff. I'm going to start using these. I'm going to start working with these. These come from Barbara DeLong, and man, they're really, really good stuff. They are really, really good stuff. I really, really like them, and I think that they're really, really powerful. And let's see, Nick, before we close, I want you to, Nick, I want you to focus your intention on this for 15 seconds. Focus your intention on these. It's a deck of cards. Focus your intention, Nick. Nick Growl, focus your intention. Beam your intention into these cards. Focus, focus, focus. Focus, focus, focus. Okay. Now, Nick. Nick, are you with me? Let me know you hear me. Frank Zappa said, I don't join shit. Frank Zappa was a smart man. Is a smart man if he's still alive. Nick G, are you out there or not? Okay. R. Wayne Steiger in the house. Okay, so Nick, you can't tell me when to stop, so I'm going to stop when I think you would say stop, like right there. Okay, Nick. Now I want you to be honest with this. I'm going to pull this card out. I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to read you because I'm still learning to myself what it says it's supposed to mean. If I can find the book, because I was just using it, yeah. And then you're going to tell me if it works, if it makes any application to you. So the card is the crown. The crown. The crown. And I'm not really supposed to use them this way, but there's the card, the crown. This is for you, Nick. Tell me if this is accurate. Tell me if this is accurate. Let me put my cards away before I get them all messed up. All right, so. All right, the crown. The crown. Crown. Okay. Oh, I already know it's good. Nick, this is going to blow your mind. Check this out. Wayne Steiger, don't eat yellow snow. Okay, Nick, tell me if this is spot on, kind of spot. 0 to 10, give me a ranking on this. The crown card that I just pulled for you after you put your intention on it. Crown card says a transition level has been achieved. An opening leads into greater realms of awareness. Balance of all energies work in unison. The crown is becoming your laurel of salvation. A new flow of tranquility and peace has been achieved within, soon to manifest in the physical. The achievement of awareness calls for action. I know Nick a little bit, so I know that is like reading his mail. Wow. Powerful stuff. I just got chills. Yeah, I definitely gonna have to start using this. Nick, tell me, confirm or deny, 1 to 10, how accurate is it? 1 to 10, how accurate is it? And I'll be back this Sunday with R. Wayne Steiger for our Not Your Normal Sunday morning show. Nick must have got busy, but let me tell you, that is so right on for him that I don't know where he went. But anyway, Nick, you let me down. Nick, you let me down. Oh, there it is. Wow, bingo. Yeah. It is bingo for his life, and that's just pulling one card. You're not even supposed to do it that way. So anyway, you'll be seeing more of those. All right, folks. That's it. That's the gospel truth about the Western Book of the Dead. How to navigate the afterlife life 10. Yeah, that's an 11 for you, cousin. That's awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So I got some more stuff to talk about today. We'll have a few more shows today. Looking forward to it. And please leave your comments. Please like the video. Please make sure you're still subscribed. And I'm not even sure where Gary's going with that, but there you go. It's a pleasure to be with you guys. And what was that thing I was going to say? And I forgot. So I wrote it down. Oh, yeah. So I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. This has been the gospel truth about the afterlife, after death life. And until next time, remember, no original sin, spark of divinity within. So love yourself, love your neighbor. Let's all be excellent to each other. Make the change you want to see and stay fearless, my friends. Stay fearless, my friends.